Hello and welcome to the Messages and Methods Livecast Live 2.0 live stream podcast, hosted by Encore entrepreneurs Shelley Carney and Toby Younis. We inspire excitement for content creation and marketing your brand and business while answering all your technology and digital marketing questions. We love to help you, our content creator friends, with actionable tips to land more clients, nurture leads, and gain trust as an expert in your industry. Chat with Shelley and Toby live every Thursday on YouTube or Facebook. Hello and welcome to Messages and Methods. I'm your host, Shelley Carney.
And I'm your co-host, Toby Younis.
Today we're going to be talking about building a course, something that is really a great option if you're an author, if you're a content creator, a thought leader, a coach, or a consultant. Building a course can help you take your one-on-one training and take it to one-to-many so that you can save time and effort while bringing in more money. Always good.
It's easier than writing a book.
Is it? I think they're about equally difficult.
Yeah.
I've done both now, and I think they're both equally difficult, but we're going to simplify it. We have 5 simple steps to take you from zero to
Hero.
Yeah.
Ready?
I'm ready. Let's get it started. 5 simple steps to create an online course with Shelley Carney and Toby Younis. And I will like for you to notice, if you're watching our live show today, that I'm using these slides, and these are the same types of slides that I use when I create a course. So kind of keep that in mind as you're watching. And if you're listening to the podcast, come on over to the video and check it out. So who should build a course? Again, this is for trainers, coaches, consultants, thought leaders, service providers. Any kind of service that you're providing is an opportunity to create a course or a library of content for people to access to learn more about what it is that you teach. And the number one thing to do when you're building a course is to stay organized so you don't have things all over the place and then you forget what you were, what you wanted to do. So I suggest, and this is what I do, I create Google folders. I'll have one for the course, and then within that folder, I've got 2 more folders, one for slides and one for resources. And I number everything. So if I'm titling the slides, I'll, for the introduction of the whole thing, I might go 00. And then for section 1, the first lesson, I might go 1.0. And then for the next lesson, 1.1. So keep everything numbered so that it stays in order. Then when you go through everything, it's a lot simpler and it keeps you organized. And then create a theme and stick with it throughout. So if you're doing slides like I suggest, create a theme for that course, what those slides will all look like, and stick with that theme.
So we should point out that we've moved away from using PowerPoint as our primary slide creation application, and we just use Google Slides. And we find it good enough to be able to do all the slides that we do, whether it's for a show like this or when Shelley's creating a course. What she means by a theme is the background of the slides that you're building. So if you look at our slide here, it has a banner across the top. Shelley includes her Bitmojis, which I really like because she seems to find the right there. I'm kind of in love with her Bitmoji. So so she has that in the corner, although you can't see it, and I'll have to correct that, is our contact information. It's right under the video on this slide right now, so I'll change that. But that's the theme for this, and you have to consider if you're going to be presenting in the same way like we are right now, you're going to have to make some changes to it. I'm going to do a quick change here for just a second. This is the format that we usually use, so nothing is covered up. But we've decided that we like this much bigger format. And when I do that, it starts covering stuff up. So I need to correct the slide master for these to make sure it accommodates the idea that we're going to be down here in the corner as well. So
So think about that as you're designing your slides. So the 5 steps to building your course is number 1, start with a topic outline, decide what it is that you're going to be teaching, and make an outline so that you can remember what it starts with, what it includes, how do you end, and don't worry that it is, whether it's perfect when you start, because you'll be adjusting as you go along. But to start off with an outline will help you to know where it is you're going to end up. Then, number 2, build your slides. Number 3, gather your resources. Number 4, create your videos. And number 5, choose a platform where you're going to upload your course.
And it's better if you get the opportunity and you have the vision, you can choose the platform out front. But from Shelley's experience, she tried 4 or 5 platforms before she settled on the one that she was happy with. So if you're concerned, if this is your first try, I would move selecting the platform to the top to make sure that you're confident with it and that it works for you, that you're capable with it. When it comes to the slides, remember that you're going to have one slide set for each one of your training videos. So you may have, let's say, 3 sections, introduction, content, and ending for your course. Well, each one of those will have a different set of slides for it. So you're creating multiple slide sets and you're making them so that they're complete, that one slide set completes that segment of the course. We have a course on Udemy right now, and some of the presentations are as short as 4 minutes because we wanted that encapsulated capability. We wanted to do one thing at a time and not try to fit a lot of things into a single slide set. So keep that in mind as you're creating your slide set. When Shelley mentioned resources, I wasn't at first quite sure what she meant, but then I realized, of course, what she means is the additions to the course. Whether you're providing ebooks or templates or infographics, etc. Those are the resources that you're going to have to create along with creating each of your slides. Videos, you're going to have a choice, and I know Shelley's going to talk about each one of these in more detail. But again, the only comment I'd make on this one is you may want to select a training platform before you start your course to make sure you're comfortable with it. We have the benefit of Shelley doing all that kind of work.
Mm-hmm. So for your topic outline, you want to answer the top questions that you get from your clients, your audience, whoever it is that you're speaking to. What do they ask? What do they want to know? And then along with that information, answering those questions, you want to offer your experience and your insight, what you've learned by going through the same process that those people are going to be going through with you. That way they'll see, 1, you've already done this, 2, you've made the mistakes, and then you learned the right way to do it. And now you're helping them take a shortcut by purchasing and going through the course. Then make a logical list. Start with your introduction, then have 5 to 7 sections that explores the topic of your course. Finish with a summary and next steps. And always keep in mind that you want to make this very interactive. So every lesson that you're going to be teaching, you want to have something that goes along with that they will then enact, something that they'll take action on so that they can cement that learning.
So I like the list that Shelley has created here because it is very logical. She entitled that section "Logical List" because it is very logical. If you decide to limit yourself to 5 to 7 sections, that doesn't prevent you from adding subsections within each section if it requires it. So some sections, especially about the middle of your course, are going to require more than one slide set. So you're going to have to create subsections to go along with it. Don't feel like you're limited to 7 sections without creating subsections.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, though, is the sections are the main points.
Right.
And then within those main points, you're going to have lessons. You might have 3 to 5 lessons within each section.
Yeah.
Then create your slide set. Now, personally, I've done slides so much over the past 5 years that I don't even need to do the the outline. I'm outlining as I'm creating my slides. As you can see, I have bullets that keep me organized. And if, with Google Slides, it's very easy to say, you know what, this particular thing should be up here, earlier in the talk, and I can move things around. And it helps me to keep my mind organized. So if you get to the point where you've done enough slides that you don't really need an outline first, you can just jump into slides the way I do. Each lesson is a slide set, as Toby said, and you can create organized bullet points, and you'll be speaking to each bullet point, but you don't need more than a bullet point on the slide to just keep you on track. You're going to create an intro and a closing slide for each section and each lesson. Within the slide set, you'll have 5 to 10 main idea slides that covers that topic, that lesson topic. And then you'll include your resources. You might say, now I want you to go look at my Livecast Life workbook and look at page 6 and 7 and then do the action steps. So that way you are incorporating those resources that you've added to your course and giving people the action steps, the homework. Now you need to go put it into action so that they'll get that learning by doing.
So I was trying to think while Shelley was talking there when I made my first slide set, and I think it was in the late 1970s when I was working for the NSA. So I've had the benefit of a lot of experience with slides, starting with PowerPoint and then recently just moving over to Google Slides. But Shelley's right. I think the tradition was always to write an outline. But for me, it's much easier just to start building the slide set because they're bulleted points. They are effectively outline points. And so I've grown accustomed to that. And I've noticed Shelley does a lot more of that now as she's building her slide sets for our shows. She just starts laying them out and bullet pointing. And then if she feels like she needs a new slide between slide 3 and 4, she just adds one, and it makes it much easier. So you're actually building your outline while you're building your slide sets.
That's right. Next is prepare your resources. This could be something that you've already offered as a free download. If people, are coming to you asking you for something and you thought, well, I'll just make a free download and get them on my email list, include that as a resource. You might have infographics, ebooks, worksheets are awesome because it's something that's interactive because they have to fill it out. Activities are the same way. They have to participate. It's not a passive just listening to you. It's an actually proactive thing that they have to do. Activities are great for that. So you may want to think up some activities to get the learner involved physically with the material. Give them additional reading or videos to go watch. If, for instance, in the Livecast Life course that I'm putting together, I talk about if you would like to live stream using OBS, we've already done a course on that specific to OBS. So I send you to those videos if that is something you're interested in. So having those additional resources that they can go look at, if that's something they want to do, that's very helpful. For instance, one time we were working with a client, she had a lot of trouble figuring out Google Slides and how to make her own Google Slides. So I sent her to a tutorial video that we found on YouTube that was very comprehensive. And, I said, make sure you go through that video several times until you begin to understand how to make your own slides. And you have to go look at the video and then do the work. It goes together. You can't just passively watch and expect to learn. You have to implement the learning. And then lastly, you can offer quizzes to test their learning. Did they watch everything? Did they understand everything? Did they retain the information? Put up a quiz, have them answer the quiz, and then you can look at that as something that's interactive, something that you get to see that they have done, so you know where they're at and if they need any additional help because they're not getting through the quizzes for some reason.
So if you're concerned about creating ebooks, there are several products on the market that enable you to write an ebook, but by just typing it into a text app. Google, what's the Google version, right?
Google Doc.
Google Doc. Type it into Google Doc, and then pour it into the application, and it formats the ebook for you with colors and fonts and things like that. I'm going to put something in the chat right now, and it's the ebook designer that we use. It's called Designer, with 2 R's, and it's at designer.io. And I remember when we purchased it, it was not inexpensive. It was like a $29 product, but it's very useful because it provides you a lot of templates that you could use to write your ebook just by pouring it into the ebook and then just making that available to your prospective.
But it isn't necessary to go that route either. If you just want to make a simple worksheet, write something out and then have them fill in the blank with the rest of the sentence. A lot of people will do that when they're presenting information that they want to make sure that people were listening. They start the sentence and then they have the person finish the sentence. And it's basically something you would say during the video that they would need to make sure to hear and retain. So that's another way to go. Next is your videos. What I recommend to get them done quickly is to use slides like this to guide yourself. Just speak to the slide, and you can be on screen like we are as a small little person down in the corner and use the slides to guide the lesson and point out everything. Alternatively, if you are trying to do some sort of a demonstration of something, you can use a screencast or a pre-recorded demonstration video. When Toby and I were doing our Amazon lives, for instance, he would record a shot of a video of all the equipment that we were using and how it was set up. And that way the person, if they wanted to do small set photography, they knew what the setup looked like and where everything was located, and that helped them. So that was a pre-recorded demonstration that we could add into the video itself. Or if you need to do a screencast, for instance, if I wanted to show you how to make Google Slides, that would be a screencast. It would show you step by step, where to go into the internet and what to type in, and then what how to manipulate everything on the screen. So those screencasts and pre-recorded demonstrations are very valuable if you have that type of a course that you're teaching. I suggest that once all your slides and your pre-recorded demonstrations and screencasts are done, then you rehearse everything once. We use StreamYard. We highly recommend it as a recording medium for doing things like this, and rehearse it once and then record it for minimal editing. So if you've rehearsed it once and it went well, and you record it, you should not have to edit that video. Once it's done, upload it to your YouTube channel or a new YouTube channel that you create just for housing these videos. That works too. And then keep them unlisted so that people aren't coming across them on the internet, and you'll be able to use them in your course online.
So we use a screencast product called Screencast-O-Matic. I put the URL in the chat room. There is a free version, and then there is a paid version, and the paid version is $24 a year. So $2 a month. It's worth every penny of it. It's a very capable screencasting tool and is constantly growing. They're constantly making additions to it. So if your style is, rather than being on camera, you choose just to do a screencast, you can do that as well. It'll pick up your audio. It'll pick up your video if you wanted to, and it'll put your video down in the corner for you. But it's a very capable tool. I've had it for as long as I can remember, since they first came out, and they make it easy, and they make it inexpensive, which I prefer both of those.
That's right. Let's talk about the platform requirements for your course. You're going to need to put it somewhere where people can access it. You want it to be something that's easy for you to organize and to work with. So it needs to be user friendly for you. It needs to be able to accept video, audio, text, and images as part of your course presentation. Uh, it should have some sort of learning management tools so that you can have interaction between you and your students if that needs to take place. There should be some kind of a payment integration so that they can come there. They can come to the landing or sales page. They can see what the course is about, and then they can pay for it and get started right away so that you don't have to be involved in any of that. It should be all automated. Your platform should be able to do all of that for you. If you find that you're doing too much um, jerry rigging or cobbling together of apps to make that happen, that may not be the right platform for you.
So I'm not even going to address this because Shelley has done all the work over the past couple of months to settle on a platform that she's comfortable with and she's going to use. And what did we finally
We're
settle?
using something called Bonza, Bonza, and it will accept all of this. And it does have the learning management tools. It has a landing sales page funnel, payment integration. It has all of this included in it. So that's why I've chosen it. Yeah, and the less you have to cobble together, the more integrated it is, the easier it should be for you to run your business from that platform.
I've watched her go through the process of trying out all these different platforms to land on the one that she likes and will use. We did buy that from AppSumo. I don't remember how much it cost.
I think
Wasn't
we
it
was
69?
179 because we
170.
bought it on sale.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But when you find the platform that you're happy with, see if it's on AppSumo, and that way you pay a one-time price, lifetime price, rather than a subscription, which a lot of these applications have.
Yeah.
A monthly subscription. So you
That's
might as
right.
well get it from AppSumo to get the lifetime.
It'll save you money in the
Yeah,
long run.
it will.
As long as it works for you. Offer your students motivation through quick wins. What does that mean? It means one of the most difficult things with online courses is people buy it, they don't use it, then they're dissatisfied. They might want their money back. They came in with high expectations of this wonderful transformation they were going to make, and then they get in there and they are overwhelmed with the information. They don't have the support that they need to get through it, and they quit. This happens a lot with online courses, and one of the ways to mitigate that is to offer quick wins. What does that mean? Well, in the beginnings of the course, you are keeping things short, fun, interactive. You're giving them simple action steps that will build skills that they're actually wanting to build and to use. And that's why they bought the course. Giving them those quick wins is saying something like fill out the worksheet and and then you're done, and then they fill out the worksheet and there's maybe 3 questions, something super simple that keeps them engaged, keeps them uh, interacting with the materials so that they continue to want to move forward and they feel like they're learning and they feel like they're putting that learning into action. So giving them those simple action steps that build skills is very important. Giving them those resources to fill in the gaps, to say, if you need further help, here is a tutorial video that you can go watch. But for those people who are already understanding what you've just taught, they don't need to go watch the tutorial. It's just available if they need it. So things like those resources that just fill in those gaps are very helpful for keeping people from getting stuck or overwhelmed. And then quiz them for understanding and to see if they are implementing the things. Ask them, what is for us, for instance, if I would say, what is the name of your live cast show that you're going to be producing? they should have an answer for that. They should say, I'm going to call it Fun with Dogs. Okay, great. They had an answer. That's all I care about, that they thought about it and they answered it. There's no right or wrong. And it just giving that answer is a big win for them, because it meant they thought about it. They came up with an answer that they felt good about, and they shared it with somebody. And it's super important to have that win to build their confidence. And then always offer them that additional support. If you're still stuck, email me at this email address, or leave me a text message at this phone number, or in some way give them lots of contact options so that they can always reach out and ask you questions to help them stay on track with finishing that course.
One of the benefits of having done our first course, of having produced our first course on Udemy, was Udemy, as you're building the course, I'm not going to say forces you, but suggests to you the ideas that you should have the quick wins, that you should have accessible resources, that you should provide a way for them to ask questions. So Udemy is a very good platform if you're not going into master classes and membership groups and things like that. So it's one of the platforms you ought to consider. And there are several online ones. Udemy was the one we chose because it worked for us, and it was relatively.
It was a very good way for us to learn
Yeah.
how to create courses.
Right.
But it could be just a little bit challenging to work with their interface. So this is why we're doing it this way. We're teaching you without any kind of an interface how to do it on your own, and then just put it up there and then start selling it.
Well, the other advantage is if you do it yourself in your own app, then there's no, Udemy doesn't collect a fee. That's
right.
the other big difference.
And nobody puts it on sale but you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the other thing. Udemy will just put it on sale like arbitrarily,
Mm-hmm.
but it works for them. They seem to have all the information, the data, the analytical data they need to decide whether or not you should be discounting your course at any point in time.
The next step for your course is, once it's up and available to people, and they're getting into that course, you can offer them a membership with that course. Okay, now that you've done the Livecast Live course, why don't you join the membership for additional support? You're going to be in there with other people who are going through the course, and I will be in there to answer your questions. And every time you guys have a challenge, we'll make a video about it, or we'll have a Zoom coaching call where we'll all get together and answer your questions. And it's a good opportunity, in our case, for content creators to come together to collaborate and to watch each other's shows and to give each other feedback. So it's a wonderful add-on to a course, is to have a membership like that. You can provide coaching through the chat and through events. You can create a library of resources and other courses, mini courses, for instance. If people needed additional help on one particular part of your course, you can make a mini course just diving more deeply into that problem area. And this membership is excellent to provide for your learners, so that they can come together with each other and give each other advice and ask each other questions and support one another. And what we had decided to use for our membership group in this way is called Heartbeat. And it's another thing we got from AppSumo. And it's an alternative to using a Facebook group. Many people are very dissatisfied with Facebook groups, and you don't own the platform if it's a Facebook group. It's much safer to have something that you own. And with Heartbeat, you can do that. And it's a community app where people can come together and do all of these things. So that's the end of our presentation, but I did want to let you know we have published a book on Amazon called Livecast Life, the Content Creator Lifestyle. And part of that lifestyle is creating and selling digital products you create for your audience, including courses. And if you'd like to learn more about the Livecast Life, you can go to book.livecast.life and get that book for yourself.
I do want to point out that there is a crawl across the bottom, a scrolling crawl across the bottom of our presentation, and it has all the information that you need to get in touch with us, or to go find our book, or to go find our Amazon store, whatever you need. It's all down there.
All right. And we also, this morning, let me tell you a story. This morning on my walk, I was listening to podcasts, as I do. This one was Amy Porterfield, and she was talking about 2020 vision, right? What she wished she would have started earlier as she began her career as an online entrepreneur. Now, Amy Porterfield, for those of you who are interested in creating courses, that's her bailiwick. That's her thing. She teaches people how to create courses, how to sell courses, how to build from there. And it's an expensive but very comprehensive thing that she teaches. So if you're interested in getting into that, Amy Porterfield is well known for that. But anyway, she was talking about the things that she wished she would have done for her own business sooner rather than later that would have really moved the needle for her in her business and helped her to grow faster. And the number one thing she said she wished she would have started was consistent content creation and distribution. And that is what we teach, right? That is also our number one thing. And in order to help you with that, we have created 2 infographics. One is called the Content Consistency Framework, and the other one is the Content Consistency Schedule. And you can get both of those at framework.agkmedia.studio. These are infographics. They're 1 page each. You can print them out, put them up on the wall, and study them, and then use them as you create content each week to help you to be more consistent and on target with your target audience. Lastly, we want to help you every week with more tips and tools and offering you information and news in the content marketing arena. And you can find out more when you subscribe to our newsletter at news.agkmedia.studio. We offer weekly personalized updates, helpful information, links, behind the scenes photos, free offers for training and books, and digital marketing news and insights. That's all we have for today's show, the Livecast Lifestyle 5 Simple Steps to Create an Online Course. We hope that this was helpful for you. If you have any questions or if you have suggestions for other content you would like to see, please do reach out to us and write to us at support@agkmedia.studio. We'd love to hear from you, and we would love to provide that content that you are most interested in.
Voila.
Do you have anything else?
No, I'm just happy listening to you.
All right. Well, that's all we have for today. We're very happy that you joined us, and we look forward to seeing you again. Next week, Toby's going to be traveling, so I may be doing an interview or I may be doing a show by myself. We haven't decided yet, but we'll make something happen.
Something will happen. Yeah. I'll be in South Carolina visiting one of my daughters and several of my grandchildren. So if nothing else, I will have photos for you when I get back.
Very good.
All right. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining Messages and Methods Livecast Live 2.0, hosted by Shelley, Carney, and Toby Younis. Please subscribe and leave a comment or question, and we'll consider your ideas for future shows. Share this podcast with your family and friends so they can learn about current digital marketing practices too. Check the show notes for links and resources, and please come back again next week.